Have you ever thought that someone else in the property market is ahead of you? That despite the hours and hours you spend chasing down that perfect home, someone else will get there first? Well, there's a letting agent in Bristol who's cashing in on that feeling, and he's putting two fingers up to the system that's designed to regulate the rental market.
Jermaine, can we have a word with you, please?
What will he do for our money? And what will he say when we ask for it back? Jermaine McCalla runs this letting agency in Horfield. It's called Suremove. Basically, they're a middleman between landlords and tenants. They market properties and organise viewings. Once they've found a tenant, they then check references and supply a tenancy contract between the two parties.
A highly professional and efficient service. That's how they market themselves. But their logo appears to have been nicked from a law firm in Lincolnshire.
Jermaine is the brains behind the outfit. He's been in the lettings business since 2009.
He used to run another lettings agency called Property Services Bristol. We've spoken to a woman who tried to rent a flat through this company, but when she pulled out of the deal early, he refused to give her any of her deposit money back.
So she took him to court and he was ordered to pay £800 in compensation. He folded the company before that could happen.
But miraculously, 2 months later, Jermaine opened up Suremove Bristol in exactly the same building.
This is one of the flats he lets. Don't let the exterior put you off. It's just as charming on the inside. Okay, so the front door is a little bit unorthodox, but everything else seems to work. I mean, it has a light in the communal stairway. The carpet's a bit thin in places, but it's very desirable. It went after the first viewing. In fact, demand for UK rentals is so high that 5 people are now chasing every new property on the market. And in Bristol, supply is the lowest it's ever been.
The whole time that we were looking around, he was like, yep, a lot of people have been seeing this property, a lot of people are going to see this property. If you want to secure this property, you're going to have to let me know as soon as possible. That's why we were so like, okay, we called him up on the day and we're like, we do want this place.
They paid an initial £200 holding deposit to take it off the market. And then later they paid a security deposit of a month's rent in advance and thought that was all they needed to pay.
A day before we were supposed to move in, he calls us up and he was like, okay, where's this extra £940 worth of fees?
Why did you agree to pay it? What would have happened if you hadn't?
Then I would have been homeless.
Yeah, we all would have been.
At such short notice, and when you have all your belongings being pushed into the back of a van, there is not much you can actually do about it. We still have not received a receipt of what this money was for or where it has gone.
I don't understand why he needed that extra money, because I remember him saying you need this much for this and this much for this and this much in the guarantor fees, and even if it was agency fees, £940 is a lot of money for agency fees.
It's not just these guys who've had a problem with Jermaine. We've spoken to 8 people who've all had issues with him. One of the most common complaints is around the way he handles deposit money.
One person told us he took a security deposit from them and failed to register it with a deposit protection scheme. That's actually against the law.
So I think it's time we met Jermaine for ourselves. But before we do that, we need to construct a sting.
And we've got just the person to do it. We've hired an actor called Alan Young, and we're setting him up as a bit of a mummy's boy. Sorry, Alan. He'll pose as a young professional who wants to escape the clutches of his mother's home cooking to find a flat of his own. His waistline depends on it. We've got a viewing on Fish Ponds Road.
How much was this one up for? 675. How are you doing? You alright? That's alright, that's alright. The washing machine and the fridge freezer do come with the property. Alright, the washing machine doesn't. The fridge freezer does.
Got that one wrong then, Jermaine. But he's a bit more sure of himself on what money he wants from us.
Basically, if you wanted to take the property, we normally take a holding deposit, which is the agency fee, which is 375. That takes the property off the market. Right. We'll start the referencing process, and then you pay the deposit and the rent before you move on.
He writes his bank details on the back of a business card for us to transfer the money to. We leave it a few hours and then give him a call just to double check what that money was actually for.
That covers all your referencing, administration, contracts, move-ins, move-outs, inventories. 375 covers you from the day you move in to the day you leave.
So we do what he asks and transfer the cash into his account. But a day later, and Alan's been thinking things over, his mum's been having a word and she thinks he shouldn't move out so soon. He should stay at home and save up so he can buy a flat instead. It's time to break the news to Jermaine.
Hi, Jermaine.
Hello.
Hi, it's Al.
How you doing?
Oh yeah. I'm afraid I've actually got to pull out of the flat.
Okay, why? How come?
Look, it's just I had a chat with my mum last night. I'm saving up for a flat. It's just not gonna work out.
So let's recap on what Jermaine said he'd use the money for.
That covers all your referencing, administration, contracts, move-ins, move-outs, inventories.
So far, none of that has taken place. So will Alan get his money back?
It would be non-refundable. All agency fees and holding deposits are non-refundable. It does say that on your tenant's rental guide, and it is pretty standard in England. When you put down a holding deposit or an agency fee, if you decide to pull out, it would be non-refundable.
So there's just nothing I can do.
Not really.
But is he allowed to do that? Let's ask the Ombudsman.
The letting agent could justifiably withhold some or all of that holding deposit if they've incurred administration costs in terms of having to rearrange appointments, having to re-advertise the property, if they have undertaken credit searches or got references from previous landlords. From the evidence you've shown me, he has not demonstrated that he has actually incurred those costs. You hadn't even signed the referencing form, so he wouldn't have instructed the referencing company. He has to actually show, if he's incurred any administration costs, what those costs were for.
Well, we did put all our evidence in a letter to Jermaine, but he hasn't replied.
Nice to meet you, okay?
So let's try the personal approach.
Essentially, this is the living room.
Mm-hmm. We've set up another sting. Jermaine McCalla's inside at the moment. We want to catch him as he comes out and try and ask him some questions.
But yeah, have a think. Give us a call. Let us know. And then pick up on it.
I'll let you know. It's great.
Jermaine, I'm Alistair McKee from the BBC. Can we have a word with you? Can we have a word with you, please? Are you going to give us our deposit money back? We gave you an agent's fee of £375, which we asked for back and you didn't do it. We sent you a letter. It's all in the letter, Jermaine. Will you answer our questions? Will you answer our questions, Jermaine? Why do you keep taking people's money? You're not giving it back. You have no right to hold on to it. Why won't you give us our money back? Come on, Jermaine. Don't be shy. You can talk to us. We can work it out. Well, Jermaine clearly doesn't want to talk to us about the money he's holding on to. There is some good news at least. Proceedings to wind this company up began last December, so it looks like it'll be the third lettings agency Jermaine has been involved in to bite the dust.
But let's hope he doesn't just open up another one right here and start doing this all over again.